Wow, look how wet this car is. It was really misty last night. I was out about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock last night. It was way mistier than I thought it'd be. They often don't actually warn you on the weather report that I use whether it's going to be misty, icy. You have to look at the weather warnings section, which is a different icon or area. You have to click on it. So if you just casually look, you're not going to see it. I'm so tired, stiff. My muscles have this stiff ache today. Hope my tyre pressure is okay. I haven't rode this bike for a while. I haven't ridden it much lately and haven't really checked the tyre pressure with a gauge. I checked it with my hands. Feels a little bit low maybe. Jeez, this thing pulls hard. I just want to check the tyre isn't too. It looks okay. It's just when you come from a bike with very narrow tyres to riding one with huge tyres, it just feels like you've got a flat tyre but you haven't. You want these really low, otherwise they don't provide much suspension. It's a little bit low, but it's maybe at like 10, 12 psi maybe. I'm not sure. I guess 12. Usually have them about 15, 18. Ooh, little cat there. 20 psi maybe. Hello. It's just a thin, really thin one. Must be cold in this weather. Hope he's not a stray. They don't tend to come out in winter because they don't really like it. Front tire's a little bit low as well. I think it's fine. I think it's very unlikely you would get like a pinch flat on these tyres. But yeah, it's roughly around the minimum that I'd want. I wouldn't want it any lower PSI than that. She just pressed the button and then just walked across. People do that often. Yeah. And across from the lights green. She pressed that one as well. I wondered if I was seeing the first white, a female refugee, but she was white, so. Cyclist over there. quite an unpleasant sort of diesel fume smell. Take the outside lane this time, I think. I don't like this cold. I really don't like it. It's not too fun to ride in these conditions actually. It's about 90, 80. I really feel it on my face. It's not pleasant. I guess if I had a helmet, it wouldn't be too bad. With a full visor, yeah. But I've never worn one of those. E-bike with mid-drive. Maybe a Bafang Ultra or something? I don't know. M265 Bafang Ultra, it looked like. That sort of frame anyway, the frame shape. I'm not in the mood for human obstacles today. Oh, look at this fucking thing. Size of that fucking truck. What's that even doing down there? HS2, isn't it? scary. All the roads have been collapsed by the HS2 trucks or whatever. And then I've got the glare of the sun in my face, so I can't sort of see. Perfectly. This bike handles pretty well though. So yeah, back there I wasn't quite getting the amount of speed that I would usually expect to get. Maybe about 1 or 2 miles per hour lower than I would expect to get there in mode 3. I think it could be the low tyre pressure and the fact that it's so cold. The battery isn't like doing its chemical reactions as well. Does that make sense? There's a person there. Tends to get flooded in this area. Tends to get flooded in the winter in this area. Where it goes down towards the river, tends to get flooded. Me and my dad were on the way back from Reading, we were gonna drive down that road a couple of days ago, about 3 days ago, and but it's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. It's Monday now, and we turned to go down there, and then I realised, oh, it might be flooded. Then we noticed this car like turning around on the bridge. So it was like, yeah, it's probably flooded, so we had to turn around. I have to be a bit careful because it's slippy. Oops, I probably shouldn't have gone through that. That guy with his dog, he looked like, is it Keith Chegwin? One of those old like TV presenters or radio presenters from the 90s. Sort of round face with glasses and like gingery hair. He looked a bit like that, but he didn't look like a countryside person. I don't know. But that dog he had looked so small, it looked like the size of a rabbit or a really big rat or something. I was like, what the hell? Let me get through here. It is so muddy. Makes me not want to go off-road. Makes me reconsider whether I want to go on there. Oh my god, it's so much worse than the last time I come through here. So much worse. This is usually quite like dry and stony, like gravelly. We'll go up the hill instead. Yeah, I think it was last weekend or something when I went to that, it was about a week ago, a little bit more, when I went back to Kirtlington, and then to Tackley, and then I ran out of battery. That was on the new, oh my god, look at it. State of this. This is much worse than I expected. All these big rocks here, they weren't there either. Unless they were buried. I have to go across that field. I think I'm going to end up getting more exercise than I wanted to. We're not even in winter properly yet. Does that make sense? It's not even December yet. Oh my god. Should get better once we get off this part though. Up that hill, because the water drains. The water drains downwards, right? So that looks bulky as fuck. Should be okay now. Oh dear, I thought it'd be pretty dry down there. Obviously I haven't got knobbly tyres on this bike. I've just got a smooth front tyre and a sort of mixed purpose back one, Chengshin something. Oh, that was a deeper rut than I expected. Fucking hell. Maybe I should go straight through the middle. It's gonna tear this place up. It's gonna leave a really obvious track as well. People will think a pit bike has been through or something. Jesus. It's actually really slippery underneath my feet. This is terrible. Didn't think it'd be this bad up on a hill like this. It's alright on this grass actually, so not too bad on this grass. I know where it will be really bad is down the other end of this, as you get towards Gorkot. Yeah, I got a lot of exercise when I did that. Within a period of about 3 or 4 days, I did a few trips on that white bike and the new one. And particularly the day when I broke down, I pedalled a lot. So I wanted to try and get back as close to home as I could. And then since then, basically, haven't been feeling so well. Just had this the dehydration problem that I had in the summer has come back again. Although it's not really bad, it's bad enough to be annoying. Probably affecting my eyesight as well. Oh my god, look at this. It's just standing water, look. Oh, it hasn't sunk into the ground at all. The bike's gonna get really dirty. Makes me worry about my cable, which is damaged, the one I repaired. I think the rubbery sheath that I put on it has started to sort of get worn away. It's peeling away. Fucking hell. Can't see anyone around. Let's have a look how my bike is. Very muddy. Just liquid mud. Nice. A little bit of mud around there, we don't want too much around there. where I'm worried about. Lovely. But yeah, I'm just so tired, but I've got to get out, I've got to do something. I can't sit around all day inside. I don't eat a lot of red meat, like almost none. Sometimes I'll eat sausages and bacon, but I very rarely eat beef or lamb. It's quite nice. It's not all muddy like it was back there. It's quite good. I think I'm going to try and get back onto the track, so I used to give this bike a lot of flack, but it's actually pretty good once you get that seat in the right place, which is for me, I had to do some metal work, like filing the metal to make the seat post be able to rotate the other way. So that I can get that seat post like 2 or 3 inches further forward than I usually would be able to. You compare this bike to that other one, lots of horses there. Compare this bike to that other one, and it compares really well, just in terms of like how comfortable it feels to ride. You know, you got full suspension on this, whereas that's a hardtail. The front suspension on that doesn't really soak up much bumps where it's supposed to. These are supposed to be quite decent. You hope it's going to soak up the bumps. I'll probably just go around the back there, because I don't want to go back to the road just yet. I think it's like some little private road down here. Not sure about the back bit where the ponds are, but I don't know, everyone walks down there anyway. I like this bike for the winter though. These bigger bikes are quite good in the winter. Don't know why. Just feel safer on it. More comfort. More reassurance for some reason. Went out last night on that small one and I got a puncture a couple of miles from home. Thank you. So that was the first time I got a puncture at night, so that wasn't fun. Got that glare of that sun in my face now. God, that's all collapsed, isn't it? Look at that. I wouldn't like that one in summer. Some people in that field. Hunters, perhaps. A really long road down there, but quite a few people around. I don't know, they're walkers or locals or farmers or what. This is where they do the shooting, I think. Some sort of big country house in there. Lovely ponds. It's weird because I swear I couldn't see that pond that well from in the summertime from here. I could see that back one, but I thought it was a bit further away than that. You know, it's far enough away that you had trouble seeing it. That down there is going to be really treacherous. Oh look, there's a massive bird. Massive. Not sure what it is. Heron maybe? It might be a heron. Really big wingspan. I like to see that. I like to see all the different types of birds. Although it can be hard for me to identify them. My granddad also liked birds. Some water in there, I never really noticed that before. That probably was a heron. I just want it to be springtime. About April would be good. March, April. Some farm equipment. They got a fire down there. Look at that. Burning trees or something. Burning trees. We see that fertilizer's gone up in price like 3 times. I think the fertilizer comes from the gas from Russia or something, I don't know. But they say the fertilizer's gone up 3 times in price. I reckon it was already difficult for the farmers to turn a good profit. It's really hard work, but they don't get much profit. It's just feels like the backbone of our economy, the backbone of our nation is just sort of being undermined. Does that make sense? And the politicians never really do anything to solve these problems. Then they'll give you some like really complex answer as to why it's not possible, like, you know, free market is better, and if you have you can't have protectionism because it kills innovation, and I don't know, all this rubbish. You just get like lower quality companies and all this. It's loud. Blowing like leaves, blowing loads of leaves. I've never seen one like that. I've never seen a leaf blower like that you push along. Nice old lady. Very wise and shrewd looking. We drove through Brill the other day, and my dad said that one of his clients lives there on the main street, and the house is worth 1.5 million. And I was just gonna laugh because it wasn't a very big house. It is sort of terraced, like it is an old one, very old, but it's just a little cottage that's joined on to all the others along the street. It is a touristy village, but not a super. It's not really a super destination. Do you know what I mean? It's not like the Lake District or something like some of the places there, or even some places in Wales or Cornwall, especially Cornwall. It's not like that. It's in, you know, we're in Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire, East Oxfordshire. It's not like it's these jet skis here. Don't see that often. It's not a super tourist area. It is a sort of a local touristy spot, but it's in an area that's, you know, getting worse and worse. More urbanised, poorer, more people who shouldn't really be able to afford to live here, but they're being put in like social housing, council houses and stuff. You don't like that, do you? You don't approve of that, do you, Horsey? All those people in the council houses. The inflation is out of control apparently, and that's partly why the energy bills and food prices have gone up because of the inflation. That's I knew that would happen about 2 years ago, so that's partly why I made this bike as quick as I could, because I knew the prices could potentially go up. Although I'm not sure it's really affected the e-bike parts that much. These old tiny roads that no one drives down. You know, thankfully we don't get too many idiots like driving down here, racing cars down here yet. Still got 77 volts, started about 81.5. Let's go this way. My zip on one of my zips on my favourite bag here has started to fail. The zip just won't stay closed, you know. It's a real shame. That's the bag I use most of the time for cycling. This one, it's quite thin, low profile, easy to get on and off. This is where I met. This is where I met that girl who was cycling on a like old bike. She was rolling down that road this way. I was coming along here that way, and we met at the crossroads. Yeah, we met at the crossroads. And it was really weird. It was in like a summer evening, like 9 p.m. at night or something, and she was like an Eastern European, like I don't know what she was, like maybe Ukrainian, I don't know, but she was kind of like fashionable. She was like a little bit short, sort of young, early 20s, like kind of like short-ish blonde-ish hair. She had like a nose piercing, like a black nose piercing, and she had like, I don't know, those like wireless earpod things, like AirPod, whatever they had. And she had like an old like, vintage looking Raleigh bike. So she was very like fashionable, like you'd see in a city or something. But she seemed okay. She didn't seem like a screeching liberal harpy. I've got a tractor. I don't know where I'm going to pull over to. Pull over on this side. Along there, that's where I saw that little roadrunner bird running along that field. Got like warning lights on. Yeah, she was just sort of riding around in the countryside. She didn't know where she was going really. She obviously hadn't lived here very long. She was from Eastern Europe. I wonder if she was from my town, or she didn't seem to know like where the roads were leading to back towards my town though. So I wonder if she was like staying in a village or working in a village for like a hotel or something. I don't know. I haven't seen her since. But I just gave her directions, you know. It's weird because she can't have gone that. I don't think she would have gone that far because she didn't seem like she would be very fit or very good at cycling. So I can't imagine she came from Bicester. She could have come from, there's this place I didn't know about though called Calvert Green. I thought Calvert was a tiny village, but there's actually this massive like estate there that's like, was built about 10-15 years ago, called Calvert Green. Calvert Green, yeah. So she could have come from there, because it's along that road, a few miles down the road, maybe like 4 miles, 3 or 4 miles down that road. Let's go through Preston Desert. There's some dogs in there. 2 little dogs, black and white ones. Yeah, there is a reason why these bikes are popular and lots of people make them. And it's not just because they're very can be very powerful. I mean, people say the Sur-Ron is the better bike, and I can see that, but oops, farmhouse. I can see why they would say that. Yeah, so that farmer guy is going to move here. Says his house has been condemned in Maze Morton. I was saying that I noticed how old and bent some of these houses are. It's crazy. Can't see it right now because the sun's glaring. But some of these old cottages have very bent walls. Let's go around Chetwoad, past the HS2. He was indicating my way, I couldn't see it. So I'm assuming he went the other way. Yeah, it's always scary when a car like suddenly appears in a junction in a place that you don't expect. Didn't get a good look at that person, but I saw like brown arms, like light brown coloured arms, like they weren't wearing any clothes. Weren't wearing many clothes, like just a t-shirt or something. I don't know. There shouldn't be much traffic down here. This is the most back road of the back roads before a HS2 came in. There was a lovely wildlife area that I found in 2019 around the back of there, and you could get your bike down there. But then since they did the HS2, you can't easily get there. You can still get into the same area a bit further down here this way, but up the top you can't. Fucking traffic lights. Yeah, this area was completely different. There was hedgerows either side. There was actually someone's house was around here somewhere. They've like demolished someone's house. Yeah, there were houses around here. You can still see like the remains of parts of them, I think. Like there, maybe. Oh wow, they've got like a this wasn't here before, this crane. They're really getting serious here now. And whatever that is, wasn't there before. It looks like they're fracking or something. Fracking the ground. I think it's just a drilling machine like my uncle works on. But that's probably the more powerful one, the bigger one. I've got a green light, but I see a lorry like cement mixer pulling towards me. Look at that thing. I can't tell if what I'm going through is mud or concrete. Imagine being that poor person who has to live in that house there, and then you've got that giant, you know, you thought, oh yeah, I'm set, I've got a beautiful house in the quiet countryside, and then all this shit appears, and there's fuck all you can do about it. You know, what if you really loved your house and you had a lot of memories there and you didn't want to leave? They should get some sort of compensation, really, shouldn't they? Financial compensation, like 50% of the value of your house, something like that. Do you know what I mean? Be really careful here because it's tight and bendy. It's such a weird situation now. You've got all these refugees and illegal immigrants and stuff haven't got a penny to their name. They're being put into these like middle class areas. I've heard they've even been put into like Cornwall and stuff, like tourist areas, like hotels in Cornwall. And yeah, they're in these areas where people have good jobs and they have like £1 million houses and ridiculous. Like, if you aren't aware, like £1 million, people used to dream like, oh, I wish I could have £1 million, because it was a lot of money, like back in the 90s when people's houses cost like £100,000. Now, like, most of the good houses are worth like £1 million or more. Some of these, like, I looked on an estate agent's board, and some of these like farmhouses in the villages with big gardens and stuff are worth like 1.5 or £2 million. Crazy. Like I said, the house in Brill is worth like, I'm actually not too cold now. The cold isn't bothering me much now. I need to drink though, actually, otherwise I'll get dehydrated. Diversion, so it's really unusual, that thing. I need to drink, I think. It's been a while. Very close ahead. Good to know. So if I wanted to get to Cotswolds, I wouldn't be able to. I mean, there are ways to get around that, but this is the route that I usually take to Cotswolds. Not going to be going in this weather though, with my health as it is right now. Another thing I really like about this bike is how much torque there is. Like, you really feel the torque difference. You do feel some torque on the other bike, the new one, in some situations, but it's more like situational. I like how this bike looks. I do. I like how it looks. But Andy Kirby guy said he reckons these bikes will become like a modern classic. Grit in my ball. But I need to get a kickstand on this. That's the thing that I really wanted to put on it. But I just haven't bothered with it yet. Probably because I've got that person on that now. I'm not using this one so much, so it's not as important to me right now. But would certainly be something to think about in the summer. I can hear pheasants in there. Yeah, I can hear pheasants. Changing my song. From here I'll probably go round to Tingerwick. It's a nice little cycle path route you can take. Takes me into a nice little village. So I don't really know exactly what's brought back my dehydration problem. It quite pretty there with the leaves, autumn leaves falling into the stream of water. I really don't know what's in it. Two cars there. I did try going in there once around the back, but it just led to someone's sort of woodland house thing. Sometimes get a few people walking along here, but it's not too many. There's one. This is where there's that Tabs person like graffitied the bridge. We drove along that road the other day. We drove along there and they've also graffitied under the bridge on the columns underneath the bridge, which is really weird. So that it's like they've walked along that road, that main road, in the middle of the night and graffitied it. There's another person. I was gonna riff it, but there's too many people. There's new build houses in Tingerwick. It's pretty bad, so I don't know what type they are. I like to see like goldfinches and things like that. I like those little birds. Oh yeah, I've got like mismatched brake pads. I've got like ceramic on the back and like the original on the front. I might want to swap that front brake pad soon. Maybe have them both ceramic, I don't know. The original ones are definitely more powerful, but they don't have as good modulation. You have to pull harder, much harder to get the same braking power from the ceramics. I do like the original pads, but they wore fairly fast on my back tyre, back wheel. Yeah, it might be worth trying to get some new pad, the same type I got on the back wheel. I just can't be bothered to work on this bike at the moment. See how many more miles I've done on it since I was around 2000. I've done about 400 more miles on it since I worked on it last. And then I'm going this way. Probably go around the back of Findmere to the old lane around Water Stratford. I don't know what the actual material is that they use on the original pads. Is it like organic, semi-metallic? You got sintered. I could Google it, I suppose. We've got about a mile from here to get to the back road in I've still got like above 50% battery, so I'm not too worried about range. Started about 90% battery, so you'd expect to have plenty left. It's supposed to be a 3 kilowatt hour ish, 2.88 kilowatt hour battery. It's supposed to be 40 amp hours, but I never really got more than about 30 out of it. Oxfordshire, this is the border to Oxfordshire. My body doesn't really appreciate the toxins of the alcohol, so that's why I do drink for fun nowadays, but I don't drink that too much. I don't get into I don't have a bad mood and drink nowadays. It's I just drink for fun. I will go out and make a campfire in the middle of nowhere, and then I'll drink. I also ride e-bike after I've been drinking. But not this one. You gotta watch out for like cats and things. That's the worst thing, is like cats on the pavements and things. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend drinking and e-biking unless you're very experienced and not very drunk, and there's not many dangers around. That's where I went before, down there. But yeah, I need to put kickstand on this one and fenders on the other one, really. Alright, he knows I'm quite tall, isn't he? He looks like a doctor or something, or a lawyer. Silly cars. Probably a woman in her SUV. Couldn't tell what she said. So I just said morning. I don't know if it is the morning or not. These middle class women, it's a different world. Just every little interaction is a drain on my energy right now. Beautiful sky, actually. Lovely and clear. There's actually a footpath goes through the fields across that way. 3 cars. even just going past these cars, it's like an emotional drain. It's like my energy's being sucked out of my brain. That's what it feels like to have chronic fatigue syndrome sometimes. Jeez, look at all the cars. That's the first time I've gone above 30 today. That load is going pretty quick and I can sort of keep up with him. That's pretty good, right? Wonder where he's going. Oh, there he's going in there. It's a bit dangerous on this road sometimes with all the overpopulation around, especially in the afternoon. You can sometimes get a lot of cars down here. Sometimes it's pretty quiet, but often it's quiet, but sometimes you get many cars rushing through. And the other road is also quite busy and it's faster. This road is slower, so you've got a really big hill that way, whereas the hills are, I mean there is a big hill here, but it's not as much of a problem. I still have loads of battery left, loads of juice. I'm pretty sure that other bike would be starting to run down by now if I did the same trip. considering the recent trips I've had on it. I think it would have too much juice left. Kind of curious how bad it is along there. I know it will be really muddy. Look at that bird there. Oh, it's a cat. It's not bad. Maybe this way. I'll try and go this way. I know it's going to be really wet when I get down to the next field. Oh, little painty. These little painties are nice. That's a really small horse there. It looks small to me. Where am I going? Is it that way? Yeah, I'm sure it is. A lot of walking, no bike trails, no bike marks. This is going to be too bad, isn't it? I'm already sliding around everywhere. Oh man. Me and my cousin had trouble getting through here last winter. Thought I'd try and take a different way back. Cousin got along this much easier than I did. I really slid like side to side on the back wheel there. Really slid. This is not too bad. Along here last time we really had trouble. It was really boggy. It's not too bad right now. I guess the more people walk along it, it gets really bad. There's some growing crops by the looks of it. Kind of weird that how they grow crops in the winter. Because plants usually die in the winter. Those look like they've just been planted or whatever there. Unless that's just grass. I don't know. But there was like these broccoli looking things back in that field back there. I think they do grow some parts of them. Oh, I just went over a rock. Oops. It wasn't very sharp looking one though. I think we'll be okay. Should we get across here without ruining my bike? It's a bit slippy looking there. Now up here you tend to get a lot of people walking along here because the new builds are right next to it. the new builds there. Don't know which way to go now. I've still got a lot of battery left. A lot of battery left. More than you'd expect. I don't know which way to go. I'm probably covered in mud. It's gonna go this way. Oh look. This is where my nan lives up here. Right, doing something up there. Are they like dismantling that old building and building like new builds there? There used to be an old house there, like a big one. That's where my nan and granddad's house. But my uncle lives there now. It's a nice car. So granddad died a long time ago. Well, like 8 years ago. My uncle split up with his wife. And now he's living with my nan, but he was really ill recently. Well, firstly he was really ill because he had like a leg infection, you know, flesh-eating bacteria. And then he got better, and then recently he went back to hospital, and it wasn't obvious what was wrong with him. And then they treated him. And he started to get better again, and then they said he had cancer, bone cancer. So yeah, he has cancer, poor uncle. All these, what are we going to call these ones? Cable bandits? There's a lot of cars. That's a cool car. So constant stress because you've got to like constantly tense because you've got all these cars to deal with. They're everywhere. He looks like he's indicating, but he's not because one of his lights is out. I'm going right. Look. Bloody cars everywhere. I've still got a learner on that thing. Looks like they haven't used it for a while. That chain looks a bit rusty. the back of the trousers says juicy on it. Japanese, I think. Some of these people, they look a bit like us, but they're not, you know. That woman looked European at first, but when you look closely, something a little bit off about them. Still got 72 volts, so I've still got loads. Kind of wanted to look over that wall. I think I'll just turn around and have a look over that stone bridge. She looks like her shoes are hurting her. Trying to see. See how it looks. Yeah, that woman looked like her shoes were hurting her. Used to walk across there. Yeah, one time when we were teenagers or university age, we played basketball in that basketball court there with a bunch of black people from the university. I used to really like playing basketball. Wouldn't say I was brilliant at it, but I wasn't bad. Yeah, I could throw it into the hoop pretty accurately sometimes, but I wasn't the best at sort of keeping hold of the ball and getting around people and stuff. Some guys, they would play and the ball, it was like the ball was just sort of stuck to them, you know. It's very hard to get it off of them. Some people are just better at sports than others. I enjoyed playing it, but I was not the best. I was not the most skilled. I really think it's like genetic. There's like a limit to how much better you can get with practice. Can't tell if that guy was a refugee or a university people. It's getting hard to tell. I'd say he looked kind of American, so I'm guessing he was a university person. Oh, look, they've dug up this as well. Oh, I don't know if I can even get through. Still got battery. Still got quite a bit of battery. Have a nice ride. I should drink more water though. Yeah, I had a friend who used to live along here somewhere. He's quite an intelligent guy, but he was also a bit weird. I think he kind of grew out of it though. He was more mature. He matured a lot when I met him again, like a few years after school. I think he's like working as a musician, but yeah, he was kind of intelligent but a bit annoying. He always used to like poke me. He used to poke me in the side. It was so annoying. I don't know what was up with him. All these little like lanes and paths through here. It's an older style. It's like 70s, 60s, 70s. You've got a little path through there. I've never driven down there. Oh yeah, the woman that looked like a shooter. Now looked a bit like the woman I saw who was kind of had that similar face shape, but might have even been the same woman, but I don't think it was. But she was, yeah, a girl from Europe, I'm sure, and she looked very similar to Emma Watson, one of these university girls, a bit like that. This is where I fell off my bike on the ice last year at like 7 in the morning when I couldn't see. And it was the weather report's fault as well, because it didn't say there would be ice. They didn't make it obvious enough. Ooh, it's a bit hairy. Yeah. I'll have some more water when I get to the end of the railway. I don't know. Actually quite a few people. That's exactly what happens when you build hundreds of houses, is you get loads of people walking. None of these people have a clue about the history or culture about town, how it was decades ago. Oh, bloody hell. Surprised me. He was Chinese, no, Indian. This is the crazy thing, like they often can't hear you coming. They often can't hear you coming on these bikes. That was pretty. Much older than Lex. He looks like their teacher. Wait, are they university maybe? Yeah, those young girls look quite pretty. Even if they were just A-levels or older. And I'm here. Still got 71.6 volts, so I've still got quite a lot. You know. Very energetic animals. Yeah, be interesting to see how the Sauron's geometry compares to these. Having not ridden the Sauron, I can't say, but I would find it interesting to compare the two. Yeah, it's good fun, this bike. Not too expensive either, these bikes. You know, £3 ish if you make it yourself. Of course, my new bike is like half that much. But as I said, like the handling is not as good. You're not getting full suspension. Done quite a lot of distance and this thing is still really